In this video, we discuss AMC's trajectory, the billions of synthetics, the institutions covertly purchasing AMC, and many other topics. We're examining this first. AMC is said to be dead by many. In the meantime, Wall Street's largest institutions are silently filling up. You look at this: Goldman Sachs plus 38.6%, Vanguard plus 16.1%, BlackRock plus 11.5%, and Bank of America plus 44.6%. As a result, what we are currently witnessing is that people are acquiring rather than selling. The distinction is that Wall Street purchases in the background, while retail holds firmly. This is a major hint as to what is really happening behind the scenes. So I want to dissect it. First, if we look at some of the institutions that are currently involved, we can see that it is highly likely that companies like Vanguard and BlackRock are increasing their stake in order to lend these shares to other institutions because they are aware of the high demand for them. However, the two other businesses, Bank of America and Goldman Sachs, are the main emphasis here. The reason I say this is because, as we know from their relationship with Citadel, Bank of America provides a majority of Citadel's loans. Their primary lender is them. You should already understand the implications of Bank of America loans so much money to Citadel, which use that money to short AMC. And now that Bank of America is purchasing AMC, we previously discussed how institutions are attempting to hedge against the impending disaster by purchasing an increasing number of AMC shares in an effort to stop the inevitable from occurring. The same is true for Goldman Sachs. Thus, Bank of America is only assisting specific organizations that are short AMC. AMC is not directly short. On the other hand, we have previously seen Goldman Sachs take short positions in AMC through both shares and put bets. They used to make fun of AMC, but now they're adopting a completely different approach and closing all of their short positions. Therefore, they don't have any shares short in the public eye. They have no put. Since we are still witnessing them spoofing AMC, it is highly possible that they have billions or millions of synthetics operating behind the scenes that they are not discussing, which is why they are blowing AMC and publicly criticizing AMC once more. However, this should also demonstrate to you that AMC is clearly displaying its prediction if the prior short sellers were now willing to go long on the stock. It is demonstrating its potential. And once more, all of this is carried out with them subtly acquiring in the background. As you can see, Goldman Sachs was loud about their strong opposition to AMC. You could see how outspoken other corporations were about their strong opposition to AMC and their shorting of the company. However, you can see how calm it is now that they're long AMC. If you don't stay current on the filings, you wouldn't have known this. You won't know this if you're not watching the videos. But before, if you looked at anywhere these news articles, they're all talking about how these firms are shorting AMC, yet when they're long AMC, we don't see these articles talk about it. And so this is what we saw, the fact that they want to do this quietly because they realize it's a massive potential. You can also see a big reason for why this is from this exact date since 2021 till now in 2025 on AMC. It's been 1,223 trading days. If we kept the same low volume of 30 million shares, that would mean over the course of 1,223 trading days, 36 billion shares have been traded and switched hands. That's a low conservative number, not counting high volume days above 30 million. That means if price was suppressed for 5 years, 36 billion shares as low as a low number was sold to retail who bought. So this stupid narrative about co-atom diluting another 500 million shares is absolutely nothing compared to the 36 billion shares sold to retail on Naked Shore. I want to dissect this once again because I have different perspectives on it. Now, firstly, we have to realize the dilution of 500 million shares is something that has not yet been done. We must comprehend the distinction between authorizing and issuing shares. A 500 million share dilution does not yet occur when 500 million shares are authorized. There won't be a dilution until the shares are issued. So that's the first takeaway we have to get from here. As a result, individuals are already yelling about the dilution. You have to understand that that is very different from authorization. The advantages and disadvantages of it have previously been discussed. I don't want to get into too much detail about it. However, another significant issue is that some people will now have other figures, and in my opinion, 36 billion since, as we've stated, We don't have any statistics to support that. The data that we have observed provides a very good indication of the number of synthetics that include tokens and swaps, as we discussed. As a result, we have observed that the swaps alone account for at least 2 billion synthetic shares. Therefore, even if we don't use the 36 billion, because it would appear absurdly excessive to some, it might look very plausible when we comprehend what's happening. But we have to acknowledge that the synthetic shares are in the billions. Because the shares that have been generated and the synthetic shares are out, there are in the billions rather than the millions. You must keep in mind that even if Adam Aaron were to issue and dilute 500 million shares, it would not enable these naked shorts to cover. The most important lesson we need to learn from this is that the AMC has 36 billion shares that are naked short. Derivatives are used to hedge AES and compensate order flow market makers. Thus, we have already discussed this. You can see how the synthetic shares are in the billions when you look at everything that is available. You might think it's 2 billion, of course. You might think it's 36. You may even think that is 100 billion. There isn't someone to tell you guys whether you guys have right or wrong, but we've known that there are, just so much shares that are out there. Additionally, you need to consider AMC's future. So, we've talked about how the authorization of shares would allow AMC to be put in a better position. But even without that, you have to understand how AMC is already going to do extremely well and why firms have been quietly tried by AMC, because you can see they're on a realistic path to profitability with key drivers. Firstly, expanding premium formats and to boost ticket revenue. As of right now, all of their actions are supported by statistics. When you look at IMAX, Cineoc, or AMC, you'll notice that many of their premium screens are either the highest earners or the ones that draw the greatest crowds. You can already see how AMC will be able to thrive as a result of its concentration on growing premium formats. By improving menus and bundling, they are boosting concession sales. Once more, we discuss how effective AMC is, and you have to acknowledge that a drop in attendance lately affected AMC's earnings. Nevertheless, we were able to observe a rise in income. This is where we discuss how we are incredibly efficient, streamlining processes to cut costs and increase efficiency, managing debt and refinancing to slash interest costs, and taking advantage of box office recovery and exclusive content deals. And so this is a big thing for AMC, and it ultimately is just showcasing why AMC has huge potential. You have to realize, yes, we are in a different position than Cineoc right now. We've already talked about how Cineoc has talked about a buyback program, has talked about increasing dividends, which we hopefully see that one day AMC will do, but it will take time for us to get there. AMC, on the other hand, has even greater potential because its revenue is $1.3 billion compared to Cinemark's $900 million. Thus, there is a significant discrepancy in revenue. We just need to be able to turn all of that money into profit at this point. And in the end, that's how AMC develops. Therefore, I believe that AMC has a lot of promise because of what we can accomplish once we reach that point. Conversely, you are witnessing the short seller struggles. For $0.9 billion for Friday-ending reverse repo, this is something we've already discussed. Desperation is what this is. Every time this closes, a huge boost in revenue appears out of nowhere. However, we are aware that this is carried out because banks and other institutions are pleading for assistance. And now that we've witnessed it getting closer to zero, we understand that they will no longer be able to receive assistance. And even if they were to see injections, this is something that won't last forever. And that's only more money that they've put into this, which inevitably will then be transferred to the AIS. We've always said this. However much money they're putting into suppressing AMC, when they can't suppress it anymore, that will be money that's transferred to the retail.